This is a video for all of the men who feel burned out from life. You feel like you're not enough. You feel like your running is not working. That running has somewhat eluded you. It feels like it doesn't matter what you do, you can't seem to get out of first gear. You can't get the legs moving. You can't find the time to do the thing that brings you joy. It's hard to put it into words, but there's so many things swirling around in your head that sometimes you know what you need to do, you just can't bring yourself to doing it. Welcome to being a Gen Xer, because that's what I am. Being a Gen X guy is one of these things that I didn't really understand, like the labeling for a while, but I've reached a point in my life where, you climb the ladder. Like when you start off, we're taught you got to work hard, you got to grind it out, you got to move up the ladder, to get ahead, to succeed, to get a house, to start a family, have kids, all of the things that we need to do. But then life throws obstacles in your way, and you have to adapt. You have to overcome those challenges. And then when you do, you come home and you put on a face. You put on a happy smile. You put on, I had a great day kind of day. But what happens when you don't have that face anymore? What happens when life grinds you down and you don't think that you have made it in life, that you're behind all the time, when you have friends that have retired and they're living the best life and you're still grinding it out, wondering, I'm still behind. Like, am I ever going to get ahead? And sometimes in running, I feel that way, where I feel like I can't get out of first gear, not because of the physicality of it, but the mental side of it, where somehow the day disappears and another day has gone by and you haven't got out for a run because you are burning the candle at both ends, between work, family life, side hustle, elderly parents, just things like that. And then I've watched a couple of other videos where people have kind of talked a little bit on this topic, not from a running standpoint, but I don't know, to kind of help others, like who are younger, who feel like they're behind, that they should be further ahead. Look, there's no script okay, forget about a script. There's no manual on life. There's no manual on how to be a husband. There's training plans that show you how to run. But there is no training plan on how to overcome certain challenges. And I've been looking for a way to describe some of the things that I go through. And one of them is when life hits hard in so many ways, and you just got to keep showing up, and you got to keep showing up. But eventually, it's like the 40th time on the Ferris wheel, and it ain't fun anymore, right? Like, it's just, it's not that same feeling. And when you're out on a run, all is good. After you get through the first couple of miles, once you're out there, it feels good. But when you're in a house or at your job and your routine is messed up, and now you're trying to figure out, oh, I have to get out for a run because I haven't been running for a number of days, and those number of days turns into a week, and then you're like a week and a couple of days, and it just seems to keep getting pushed further and further and further out. And then you're like, you know what? I'm just going to take a 2-week break, and then I'm going to come back. Now, if you've signed up for a marathon or a half marathon or a 5K or a 10K, hopefully you're doing your best to stick to your training, because it's hard to be able to do that run when you're not trained for it. I know, because I've been there and I've done it. And so even though running slow is fantastic, it's not the fact of running slow, it's about getting out to do the run that seems to cause a lot of the grief. I don't know, for me anyways. I mean, I've been doing some experimenting. I've been getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get work done. And I try to get as much stuff done as I can before work actually starts, and I got to do the things I got to do with family. And my wife is not well, so still supporting her and trying to get things in a good place before I leave in the morning to go to work. Life's hard. Life can be very hard. But the one thing that I think about a lot is there's the physical side of being strong, and then there's the mental side of being strong. And really, the physical side is not that much. Like, look, I could hop down right now. I could do push-ups. I could do crunches. I could do side planks. I could do regular planks. I could do leg lifts. I can do all these things. I could go to the gym. I could lift weights and all that. That's physical, right? But without the mental side of it, to grind it out, I find that you don't have the physical side, because you can't get this operating to do the thing that needs to be done, then it's very, very challenging. They go hand in hand. It's like running a marathon or a half marathon or 10K, whatever it is. When you want to stop, it's not because of something physical in most cases. It's because this stops you. It says, I'm done. I'm waving the flag and I'm out. And it shuts you down and you stop. It doesn't have to be like that, though. Training the mind allows you to get a grip on reality, a grip on your life. You may think you're behind. You may think that you're struggling. You may think a lot of things. You may have a lot of bad things to say about yourself. But you would never say those things to anybody else. I would hope that you wouldn't. We as guys, we don't share our feelings pretty much. Gen Xers, or whatever people want to call us, we're kind of closed up. People don't want to share. People don't want to take their burden of what they're going through. And we don't want to put that on someone else. I don't want to talk to John. I don't want to talk to Steve. I don't want to talk to Bill. I don't want to talk to anybody about all the crap that I have going on because I just don't want to go there. Maybe because you don't want to talk about it. Maybe because you don't want to feel like you're a failure. Maybe because you don't want to hear what they have to say. Maybe you just feel embarrassed. Maybe you just don't have any feelings on that topic because you've repressed them so much that you become, I don't know. It's hard. So where do I go with this video? What am I even trying to say? Tying it back into running, tying it into life. I look at so many different YouTubers out there on so many different niches, and some are talking about finance, some are talking about fitness, some are talking about cars, some are talking about camping, off-grid living, stock market stuff. Look, there's so many different videos, and there's people like me, maybe just talking about what I'm going through. Maybe it's people like me who are just sharing some moment in time of what they're going through. Maybe they're using it as a diary. Maybe they're trying to help somebody to let them know that they're not alone in some of the challenges that they face. To let them know that, look, you're not a failure, right? You're not behind. We all come to it at a different level. After 50, you look at life very differently. I know I have, coming to terms with all of this. And when my father passed away, he said something to me that's really stuck, and I do live like this. He said, you are born and you die, and both of those have a date, right? A date of when it was created and a date of expiry. And in between those two dates, there's a dash. He said, whatever you do, make that dash matter to you. So live the best life that you can live, because there's no training manual for it. You have to figure it out. You just got to get up and do the things that you know you need to do. And along the journey, you have to know that there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be forks in the road. There's going to be boulders in your way. There's going to be all of these things that pop up in your life, and you have to navigate around them. Because life is not a linear line, just like running is not a linear line. The days that you don't run, maybe you're doing something and you're learning something about something that particular day that you wouldn't have learned if you had gone for that run. I don't know. I'm just saying. So life can push back pretty quick. It can push back pretty hard. Life can be very, very, very challenging for some people. But I always look at life, I'm more of a full cup or a half cup, not empty, but it's full, right? It's half full. I'm a very positive individual. Not because, I've worked hard to be positive. It's just, I don't know. I look at what happens if I'm not here anymore? Well, if I'm not here anymore, I'm not here anymore, right? It's going to be sad for a lot of people, but I'm not going to be here. So I want to live a good life the best I can I want to be able to give back to society. I want to be a good person. And I want to enjoy the rocks and the roots and the lows and the highs and the curves in the road and the ups and the downs and everything that life throws at me. I want to experience it. Because that, to me, is living. Going through hardship to come out the other end, hopefully at the other end, and I'll have stories to talk about and to share and to maybe help others who feel like that they're behind in their life and behind in their fitness. Maybe I sort of started when I was in my 20s and now I'm, in my 60s and I feel like crap and I'm on all kinds of medications, or I got type 1 or got type 2 diabetes and I'm on blood pressure medication or whatever it is. Right? All of this stuff. Right? There's no manual on all of this. We all grow up in different parts of the world. We all have different mothers and fathers and different backgrounds of when people were born, what they were born into, the challenges that they face, and their circumstances that made them who they are and the opinions that they have. We are all different. And you can't categorize everybody as one person. Right? We're all Gen Xers, or we're all boomers, or we're all Gen Z, or a millennial, or whatever, right? Like, look, we're people all going through different things in life. Some of us find running later in life. Some of us find it at a very young age and are able to keep it up their whole entire life. Some people have amazing, deep opinions on things. Some people are literally brainwashed, and some people just don't care. And some people, all they care about is themselves because they're an absolute maniacal narcissist. I got rid of quite a few of those a number of years ago because they were ruining my life in a lot of ways. And we'll leave it that for a different day. So if you find yourself struggling with your weight, struggling with the motivation to get out, to feel like you're behind, feel like you're not able to achieve the things you want to achieve in life, it's okay. We're okay. You'll be okay. At the end of the day, make your dash matter. Get out and run.